Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. This guy right here is Evil Mike, and I got a review for you. From Marvel Comics, we're going to be talking about Spider-Gwen Shadow Clones, issue number 1. It is written by Emily Ken, art by Kei Zama, colors by Triona Farrell, and letters by VC's Ariana Maher. I'm sorry if I mispronounce any of those names. It's no disrespect. It's just I'm trying to pronounce them. I'm bad with names. Before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe on this guy's channel. It does help out a whole lot. Hit the bell if you like these reviews and you want to, make sure you're getting them right when I'm dropping them, because there is no schedule here. I just, drop them when I can. Alright, so without further ado, Spider-Gwen Shadow Clones. No. So the book does give you a little detailed description, and for some people, maybe just like me, this is their first Spider-Gwen book that they're reading. This is definitely mine. She has appeared in some, as a cameo or something like that, but this is my first official, solo read. I've always liked her appearance and stuff like that, but as far as that, other than watching, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I have no knowledge on Ghost Spider. But it does give you a little detailed description to kind of catch you up, and then the book jumps in there. Now, with that being said, do you need any kind of foregoing knowledge on Spider-Gwen as Ghost Spider? Not really. The book kind of gives you everything you need. Basically, we start out and we are in her universe, it's Earth 65. Of course, the main one is Earth 616. I'm assuming the 65 is the year that they killed off Gwen. That's why they named her universe, 65. But for some reason, she finds out that the Sinister Six from the 616 universe has somehow came into her universe, and they're after her. We get the scene while while this battle is going on. Some New York high rise or something like that. There's these two scientists, and it turns out it is Layla and Bennett, and they are working on this project. They don't stop because they're so close to completing the project, and of course things go bad. Vulture ends up sending these bombs out, and it does explode the wall right next to where they're working. At the moment, everybody turns out to be fine, but one of the bombs has a delayed reaction, and of course some things go wrong. Poor Bennett. I think they were partners. I don't think they were lovers or anything like that. But her lab, buddy ends up dying. As the commotion is kind of leaving, you can kind of see it in the background, and we kind of see that Layla kind of curses, Ghost Spider. Right here, she looks pretty vengeful down here, with the blood running down her face, and she's like, "Because of you, I've lost everything, Ghost Spider." So that's basically, in a nutshell, the person that created the Spider Clones. The book does not, say that indirectly or whatever, but it does jump a few months into the future. We're catching up with Gwen at home. We meet her best friend, which happens to be a alternate version of Mary Jane Watson. Basically telling her that she's late for her job. She works at during the day she works at it's like a smoothie shop or something like that. She ends up rushing out, finding out that she's late, kind of thing. She gets there, and we get to meet another one of Gwen's friends. It's the guy that, I guess he owns the shop. It's Mateo. But she ends up doing this thing where she works there for a little bit. She ends up heading home. As she's heading home, she kind of, her spider sense goes off. There's a robbery that's going off nearby, and she gets in costume, confronts the guys in the most badass way ever. She's like, "Hey, y'all know who I am. Come on, man, just drop the stuff. Y'all made me get in costume and everything." And sure enough, the guys oblige. They're like, "We're sorry." And they end up letting them tie it, and they let her tie them up, and drop the weapons. Everything's fine. Spider-Gwen ends up heading home, and as soon as she's heading home, her spider sense goes off again, her spider tingle, and it leads her to a carnival site. As soon as she gets there, we meet the reason that she is being summoned to the site, and it looks like a version of Dr. Octopus. Now, in her version, I do know that her version of Dr. Octopus is the female version, but that's not really brought up at first because this one, she kind of sneaks up on her, but we get to see our first Spider-Gwen clone. And it's it's Gwen Ock, or I don't even know if they name her in this one. I can't remember. Yeah, they do. It's Gwen Ock. But basically, it's a fight between Spider Gwen and Gwen Ock. And basically, it's more like levels of experience versus no experience. This clone, it seems to be her first outing, and she does put up. She puts up some trouble, not really a fight. She never lands a punch or anything. She kind of just plays with Spider-Gwen. She spins her around on this Ferris wheel that makes her, dizzy. But as soon as she makes it off the Ferris wheel, after that, she jumps on this Ferris wheel, because that's a carousel, not a Ferris wheel. I'm sorry. Bad with names. But anyways, she makes it up to the Ferris wheel. As she jumps up there, she does notice something off about Gwen Ock, that she has this kind of metal thing at the back of her neck or whatever. She ends up getting all of her arms all tangled up, and as soon as she gets the chance, she webs the thing off the back of Gwen Ock's neck. And as soon as she does, Gwen Ock is like, where the heck am I? What, and she kind of reverts to I want to say beginning, basic level, who am I, where am I, what am I doing here, kind of thing. She does kind of mention, because at this point they're kind of talking and she's calmed down and she's not evil or anything, but she does mention that she was there. Gwen Ock mentions that she was there, but she was more kind of a pastor and someone else was in control. The whole concept of someone controlling this version of Gwen Ock comes heavily into play. Gwen heads out, saying that she's gonna take that device that she pulled off the back of her neck, and take it to this expert, which happens to be this version of Reed Richards. And basically, he kind of looks at it, figures it out, and he does figure out that she is not another multiverse version. She doesn't come from another multiverse, because all these things are brought up at first. But we do find out she is a direct clone of, Gwen and Dr. Octopus. Doesn't state whether it's the female octopus or but I'm assuming it's the male octopus, because he was the one that was there, during that whole commotion. We basically get how he figured out, his theory on, well, not a theory, but how he figured out that, that this was a clone and what the difference was, and how the two came together. But he basically shows you on this piece of paper that it's basically two brain waves mixed into one, Doc Ock's brainwave and then Gwen Stacy's brainwave. And so basically she has all the mannerisms and everything of that, of the original Doc Ock. But before they can get into the whole clone thing, because there is that whole am I real, what am I kind of thing, they get interrupted, and you can see right here that it's kind of a knock on the door, but not really a knock. It's more like a hissing, because it's sand pouring through the door, and sure enough, it is the next, the clone of it, Sandman and Gwen Stacy. And this one looks, I kind of like this look. It looks all spooky and kind of emo looking, because they do show her on the front cover right here, and she doesn't look like that right there, but man, in the comics she does. I want to say there is a kind of preview to the next cover, and there is some cool things, like the Kraven the Hunter Gwen looks pretty menacing and cool looking. I don't know. For a first issue, I enjoyed it. I loved it. I thought it was great. The whole story in general, not only did it keep kind of catch you up to who Gwen was, it didn't give you her whole history or anything like that, but as far as introducing some of her major players, her friends, stuff like that, I think it did a wonderful job. The art is fantastic. I love the action scenes in it. But not only that, but just some of the regular panels are fantastic. And it was quite a surprise coming from Marvel. Some of these standalone panels of Gwen were fantastic. but I like the whole premise. I like that it's, you know, that somebody that got wronged by someone and they use their intellect to make versions of her, you know, to kind of, to do their dirty work kind of thing. I don't know. Y'all let me know what you thought about it. I've heard a lot of bad things. I've heard a lot of mixed things. You know, let me know. Did you not like it? Did you like it? What'd you think? Did you pass it up? I was actually going to pass it up, and I actually thought it was going to be trash. But guess what? I thought it was a great read. I loved it. Everything about it. But hey guys, that's my review. Please comment. Hit that like button down below. Y'all have a great Monday night. And I will see y'all later, guys.